Hello and welcome to this short video on using Chrome profiles to keep your professional account and your personal account separate. So what we're looking at here is a browser that is signed in to my APS account. I can hover over this or click on this picture here and I see that I'm signed in with my APS account. Now if I need to access my personal Gmail account at any time, I have two ways of doing that. I can add a profile here by choosing Manage People, or in the web environment, I can sign in with my personal account. I'm going to show signing in with my personal account in the web environment to show why we advise against it. So here I'm going to add an account in the web environment. Notice I'm not affecting the browser. Right now my browser is red and all of these extensions that are associated with my APS account are sitting there. So in the web environment down here with this icon or this profile picture, I'm going to click Add Account. I'm going to sign into my Gmail account. And now you'll see in the web environment, this profile picture is different than the one that is in the Chrome browser. I can come in here and I can access my drive for my random personal account and it will load up my drive, no problem. You can see I'm in the correct account. However, if I go to open up a new tab, that new tab opens up in my default account. So if I were to click a link that would open up a new tab and try to open up a resource, it would try to open it up in my APS account, not in my personal account. One of the conveniences and what might attract someone to doing this in this environment is you can flip between two different tabs to be in two different accounts. However, when you're trying to access resources and you need to make sure you're accessing those resources from a specific account, it does become problematic as you try to manage two different tabs. So oftentimes people will come here and they will sign out of their personal account. What happens then is it actually signs out of all accounts and signs us out of our browser. So then we would have to sign back in to our professional account. Which would then sign us back into our browser. Syncing is on. Our browser signed in, and if I needed to again access my personal account, I would have to come here and sign in again. Here we are signing in and out of an account and trying to manage it in the browsers and through this sign in and sign out process. And ultimately we're operating in our Gmail account within the container of our professional browser. So looking up here, it appears that I'm signed into my professional account because I see all of my extensions and I also see my account profile here. But in the web environment, I'm operating somewhere else. This generally is a very complicated space to work in, as you try to manage which tab is signed into which account and flipping back and forth between the two unless you eventually sign out. And if you're signed out, then what's the point? A better way to have access to multiple accounts is to use Chrome profiles and Chrome profile switching instead of trying to switch sign-ins in the web environment. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is sign out of our accounts and remove our Gmail account. That way we know whenever we're in this browser, we're in our professional account. So I'm going to do that now. So I clicked signed out, so it would sign out of all of the accounts in the web environment. I signed back in to my professional account so these profile pictures match. I'm going to click in the web environment and click on this signed out account once to remove it. Now that account is removed from my browser. So I know when I'm in this browser that I've themed so that I know which account I'm using and customized with professional bookmarks as well as extensions that I basically only use for work. I know now that this browser is for my professional APS account. I'm going to use this profile picture in the upper right to manage people and add my personal account as a profile in Chrome. So I'm going to add a person. This screen actually doesn't matter because it will change once we sign in. Well, not that screen. The screen doesn't matter, but the selections, more specifically, the selections don't matter. Notice that a brand new browser has opened up. My professional browser was red, this one is not. There's no bookmarks or extensions associated with it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on sync. and I'm going to sign in to my personal account. Now you'll notice that as I sign into this browser and turn on sync, it starts customizing based on my personal account. I don't have all of my professional use extensions loading. I don't have my professional bookmarks loading. Instead, I have a brand new theme that helps me recognize that this is my personal account. That's super helpful when differentiating from my professional. I have all of my personal bookmarks here, and I have any extensions that I would want to have personally installed on my browser here. Things like, you know, a popular one might be Honey, the online discount searching extension, or Ad Blocker, or my password manager, or one of those other extensions that might be running in my personal account that I don't need on my professional account. The way to switch between those two accounts is to simply use the browser profile picture here and click between the two. This works because these two accounts actually exist in separate windows. I can even put those windows side by side to show you that they're absolutely two different environments. So if I'm in this browser and I click a resource that's designed to be accessed by my professional account, I know confidently that it is going to open up in my professional account because that is the only account that is signed in. It's the only one that is syncing to this browser. If I go to the web environment, it is the only account that is signed in the web environment. Similarly, on my personal account, the only account that is signed into my personal browser is my personal account. I know if I click on a resource designed to be opened by my personal account, this is the only account that can open it. With that in mind, one thing to think about is if you are clicking an external link. Let's see a link that is coming in through a chat app that you have. When you click on that link, it's going to try to open it up in the last active browser that you have. So if you're active in your professional browser and then you go to that chat app and click the link, it'll open it up in this browser. If instead I was active in my personal account and clicked on the link, it would open it up in this browser. That's pretty easy to recognize because these two browsers are differently themed. I know if I click on that link and I meant for it to open up in my professional account, but instead it opened up here, no problem. I just minimize this browser, make sure that this is active, and click the link again. It will open it up in the correct browser. So that is how to use Chrome profiles to manage being signed in to separate accounts. If you ever need to remove an account or sign out, let me show you how to do that now. I'm going to go to my personal account. In the browser, I'm going to click here, and here where it says syncing to random personal account, I give that one click and I turn off the sync. That turns it off, requiring a password to be entered in order for the sync to be turned back on. If instead I need to completely remove the account, I simply go to the same place, choose Manage People, find the account I would like to remove, hover until I see the vertical 3-dot menu icon, click that, and choose Remove. That completely removes the profile. Click Remove this person. That completely removes the profile from Chrome and would take those initial steps that we use to add it. It would take those steps in order to add it back. So if you're using someone else's device and you create a profile, use their device, operate within your profile, but then you need to leave, I recommend removing your profile from your family members or your friends or the library's device before you leave. Make sure to remove that profile before you go. So that is how you use Chrome profiles to manage being signed in to multiple accounts all at the same time. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and keep an eye out for any announcements or updates from our team about using your Chrome browser to help more efficiently access your APS Google account.